In our previous video, we differentiated y equal x 5x to the fourth over 8x cubed minus 7. What we got for dy by dx was 40 x to the 6 minus 140 x cubed over 64 x to the 6 minus 112 x cubed plus 49, and that was after using the product rule to differentiate it. Could we possibly use some other method? Have used some other method to differentiate it? Let's see something here. Suppose we write this as y equals 5x to the fourth times 8x cubed minus 7 to the power of negative 1. Suppose we use the product rule here. We use the quotient rule and got this. Suppose we use the product rule in this form. This would imply that dy by dx equals, let's hold 5x to the fourth as it is. It's 5x to the fourth times the derivative of 8x cubed minus 7 to the negative 1. What do we get? We're going to have to use a chain rule. So d by dx of 8x cubed minus 7 to the negative 1, this will be like d by dx of u to the negative 1, where we have 8x cubed minus 7 being u. So what we would get is negative u to the negative 2, right? And then d by dx of the 8x cubed minus 7. Remember the chain rule. If we have, say, z equal 8x cubed minus 7 to the negative 1, and then we say let 8x cubed minus 7 to the negative 1 be u, we would have z is equal to u to the negative 1, and dz by dx will be equal to dz by du times du by dx, and dz by du would be our negative u to the negative 2. Now we're going to multiply by du by dx, right? We say that u is equal to 8x cubed minus 7. So d dot du by dx would be 3/8 24 x squared. Now here, you see, after you do plenty of chain rule, you can develop the skill of using the chain rule without having to write down y equal u to the x, u to the, or du by dx, z equals all of this times z equals dy by du by dv, right? Or saying things like y equals something another in u, dy by du times du by dx, and so on and so forth. After you become very accustomed to doing it, you develop the skill of doing differentiation without writing all of that. So what will happen here is this. That skill will allow you to do something like this. You see all of this, you realize that the inside function is 8x cubed minus 7. You find the derivative of all of this to the negative 1. What you would get is negative 1 times all of this, 8x cubed minus 7 to the negative 2. When you're saying u is this, du by dx is this, or dy by du would be this. This is the inside function. So you treat it like the u to the negative 1, and when you differentiate, you get negative u to the negative 2, right? And then you recognize that you must differentiate the inside function now. And what you get is 3 by 8, which is 24 x to the 2. That's what would happen. Alright. So dy by dx would be, you use the product rule here, and what you would get is negative 8x cubed minus 7 to the negative 2 times 24x squared, plus after that you hold 8x cubed minus 7 to the negative 1 and differentiate 5x to the 4th, so you get 20x cubed. Alright, so that's what you have. After that now, you have 5x to the 4th times 24x squared. I'll leave this out because I'm going to put it below. It's raised to a negative power, so I'm going to put it below, right? Plus, and then 20x cubed, right? And that will be all over, and then you have negative 8x cubed minus 7, and that is squared. No, the negative is outside. The negative here, the negative is outside. I should outside the bracket, not inside the bracket. Alright, so negative 8x cubed minus 7 squared. Alright, so what you have is 5x to the 4th times 24x squared over negative 8x cubed minus 7 all squared plus 20x cubed over 8x cubed minus 7. Alright, so then what you have now is 5 by 24. 5 by 24 is 525 is 100. 5 fourths 20 is 120. This is x to the 6 over, and then all of this will be squared, negative 8x cubed minus 7 by 8x cubed minus 7 plus 20x cubed over 8x cubed minus 7, right? Now, suppose we multiply everything, right? Oh, no, not multiply. Suppose we find the LCM of 8x cubed minus 7 times 8x cubed minus 7. We find the LCM of the denominator. Let's add another screen. What we would have here is this. It's 120 x to the 6. So it's 120 x to the 6 over, we could write this as negative, and then 8x cubed minus 7 times itself. So it's 8x cubed minus 7. Let's put it as squared. Plus 20x cubed. So it's 20 plus 20x cubed over 8x cubed minus 7. So it's 8x cubed minus 7. The LCM here is 8x cubed minus 7. This into this No, it will be 8x cubed minus 7 squared. This into this goes one time. One time this is negative 120 x to the 6 plus this into this goes 8x cubed minus 7. So this will be 20 x cubed times 8x cubed minus 7. Then we multiply it out and get 120, negative 120 x to the 6 plus 20x cubed. We would multiply out the brackets. If we multiply out the brackets, what we get? A2 16, so it's 120 x to the 6 minus 2 7 14 140 x cubed, and that will be all over, and that's 8x cubed minus 7 times 8x cubed minus 7. Then what we'll get after that, we have negative 120 x to the 6 plus 160 x to the 6. So it will be 40 x to the 6th minus 140 x cubed all over. Multiply these, 8 8 64 x to the 6th, 8 7 56 minus 56 x to the 6 minus 56 x to the 6. That will be negative, it will be 100, and so it's 56 plus 56, 56 times 2, 2 6 12, bring down the 2, carry 1, 2 5 10 and 1 11, 112 x to the power of 3 plus 7 7 49. Now what we had here was 40x cubed, no, 40x to the 6 minus 140x cubed, 40x to the 6 minus 140x cubed up top. Now originally we had 64x to the 6, that's 64x to the 6 minus 112x cubed minus 112x cubed plus 49. So we get the same thing, alright, even though it was very long and tedious. When we use the product rule here, we get the same answer when we write it as 5x to the 4th times 8x cubed minus 7 to the negative 1, and then use the product rule. Alright, but the important thing here is that you use the quotient rule. You know how to use the quotient rule and complete this part up here of the calculation. I just did this other part because I felt it would be fun doing that. Alright, it was a lot of work doing it, but it was nice knowing that we get the same answer when it was completed.